started surfing at an early age in the mid-30s. I don't even know when it was, but my dad had a small restaurant right on the beach at Laguna where the lifeguard tower is now. There used to be several buildings there. And as I was, first my dad had called the Laguna Diner there, and it was an old railroad car, and they'd put me in a little playpen out on the beach, and my dad would cook and look out the window, could see that I was okay. But as I got bigger and started running around on the beach, in those days, kidnappings and all those things weren't important, or they weren't concerned about that. So once I was 5, 6, 7 years old, I was running up and down the beach, and two older Laguna kids, well, they weren't so much kids, but they were 18 or 20, and it was during the Depression. They didn't have jobs, and their names were Hevs, McClelland, and Peanuts Larson. And these were really ended up being like my big brothers. And they would go, there again, had no jobs. It was tough making a living in those days. And they literally lived on the beach. The pier crashed in a big hurricane in 1937. Laguna had a pier. All that wood washed up on the main beach. And of course, there was no building codes or anything then. They took that lumber and built a little kind of a clubhouse hut, whatever you want to call it, right below Victor Hugo's, the restaurant there. And the city didn't seem to care, and that was their hangout. They had a dory boat, and they had their surfboards. So during the day, they'd go diving for abalone and for lobster, and then they'd bring that to my dad in the afternoon and sell it to him or trade for a hamburger or whatever. So one day, my dad said to both Peanuts and Hevs, he said, I'm a little worried about my kid. He's running up and down the beach, and I can't see him when I'm cooking all the time. And if you guys will take care of him or just watch him, I'll give you the hamburger and a beer at the end of the day. You can be his babysitters. Well, I was their meal ticket. They didn't give a rat's ass really about me, but they wanted the beer and the hamburger at the end of the day. So that went on for, in the summer now, and of course in the wintertime I was going to school. And they had an old Model A Ford, a coupe, and the board that had one redwood surfboard weighed 109 pounds. We have it here in the museum. Peanuts made it right on the beach. And we didn't have wetsuits then. The water's cold, so you didn't stay in the water like you do now. And one would go surf for 15 or 20 minutes, bring the board in, the other guy would go surf. So they'd take the board and put it in the rumble seat of the old Model A and put me in the back with the rumble seat with the board. They would be in the cab, and they'd drive to Doheny and San Onofre, and they'd just take me with them. And then at the end of the day, 4 or 5 in the afternoon, they'd take me back to the restaurant and get their hamburger and a couple of beers. So it worked well for all of us. I got to go surfing. They got their hamburger and a beer. My dad was happy that I was not getting in trouble or getting lost or something. So that's what started in the mid-30s. And so they would, because I was a kid, they would take me on the surfboard and do tandem tricks with me, because I probably weighed 50 pounds then. And so I started surfing and eventually rode the same board. And I've had the board ever since. It's here in the museum. And I look at it in wonder and think how I ever surfed a board weighed 109 pounds. And it's solid redwood and no fin on it then. So surfing was totally different then. See, there was no way to attach a fin to a board. We didn't have fiberglass. This was all part of the evolution of surfboards. So that didn't come till after the war, when fiberglass and resin